It's done, dude. It's done. I am very happy with everything because now I can finally eat marshmallows and sticky stuff like caramel and crunchy stuff and everything that I wasn't able to eat before. It's great. It just I get to eat like a normal person again. And some of you who haven't had braces and don't plan to get braces, maybe because you were luckily born with perfect teeth, probably won't understand the pain I went through for 2.5 years. But I'll get to that. So I about a year ago, about a year and a half ago, I made a video called My Herbst Experience or something like that. Sorry if I talk weird, by the way. I'm talking over a retainer. Anyway, I made a video called like My Herbst Experience, and I described like my experience with an appliance that would like straighten my jaw, like it level it up and stuff, and that was pretty bad. It's like it was probably the worst part of the braces, I'd say. It's I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But anyway, yeah, the rest of the braces, which I was planning to make another video on, which I'm doing now. The rest of the braces were, it was pretty infuriating. It wasn't like hard to eat. It was still a challenge because I had to like try not to break the brackets. I had to try not to like break them off my teeth. I had to try not to just mess up the process. Snap a band, loosen a wire. You've got to like take a lot of precaution when you're eating with braces. So it's less enjoyable to eat, I guess, to say the least. And luckily, I didn't ever have a bracket break or anything like that. Because apparently I was super cautious when I was eating, so that's lucky. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna describe my experience having to deal with another uh, year and a half of braces without the herps, and I might even like describe the overall. So yeah, here's part two to my experience with the herps. So enjoy, I guess. So once I got my herbs off, I don't know if I don't really remember if I described this well, but like I it was it was like it was kind of a relief. Like I didn't really realize it at the moment. I was like, I've got my herbs out, but like I've still got braces. I hadn't realized that like the herbs was really restrictive when I was eating. And sure, the braces were too, but like they didn't like constrict my jaw to a certain place or like not allow me to yawn. Like I was able to do my whatever. I was able to express my tiredness of all this. um so I so yeah, after I got the herb stuff and after like a few months, I was like, this isn't so bad. I hardly notice the braces are there. They're just kind of doing their job. Every month or so, I'd go in for an adjustment. They'd fix up my adjustment. They'd change the wire every now and then. They'd thicken it. They'd use different bands. I'd change my colors to the season. Like if it's the 4th of July, I'd wear like red, blue, and white band colors. If it was Halloween, you get the idea. I would take advantage of the opportunity to express my holiday spirit, I guess. Um, but yeah, I when my braces were initially supposed to come off, which actually, uh, yeah, that was a whole like entire year after the herps. It was supposed to be in August of last year that I was supposed to get my braces off. But obviously that didn't happen because, COVID struck. Not sure if I'm allowed to use that term, but I'm gonna anyway. COVID struck. Um, the orthodontist had to close down in like the summer, I believe, like June or July. So I couldn't get my adjustment done, which meant like my teeth were just like, in their previous place, which like kept it didn't really like pull them together like they were supposed to. Um, which obviously hindered progress on on my teeth. So yeah, I had to stay in for a bit longer. And that longer went from like a month to 2 months to 4 months until it was 6 months or like 7 months. I'm not exactly sure how long it's been now. We did calculations. I think I've had my braces for like 900 something days, like 950 something. I can't remember. So that's a long time. Yeah, I my mind originally thought like that's over 2 years. I mean, over 3 years. Like, no, it's not. I didn't do the math at first, but um, it was pretty close to 3 years actually. All things considered, but yeah, and when August passed, we were all like, so when are the braces coming off? You know, um, I was pretty irritated as well. I was just like, when am I supposed to have this done now? No, apparently not because of COVID. Like, it messed up all my appointments and couldn't get my teeth fixed, so they were a bit delayed. And then, months pass. I think it was since August. Like, the all the main work was done on my teeth. Most of them were in their place. And it was only a matter of time before I could get them off. The light at the end of the tunnel, and I was sprinting down that tunnel. Um, but of course, I don't know, a pedestrian would pass, and I had to stop. But enough of the metaphor. I'm getting off topic. Um, all right, so yeah, February comes of this year, which is last month. I believe it was February. I finally the appointments for getting my braces off was arriving. I don't remember the exact date. What caused us to not have my braces off by 2020 was there was one gap in my teeth that they wanted to get closed. One small gap they wanted closed. Um, it's like I don't exactly know the name of the teeth, but it's like in between, uh, like the second to front top tooth on the left, like on my left, I guess, and then I call them fangs. It was in between those teeth. Um, so I did kind of notice like they would prod at it, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess there is kind of a gap there, isn't there? But it was the smallest gap. I didn't notice it until last month when they were really like trying to force my teeth together. So February comes, the appointment to get off my braces. It was originally split in two appointments, like 2 weeks after another. So the first one, I was gonna have half of my braces removed. That's what they said. It was pretty vague. I was like, half of my braces? How does that work? So, like, originally I thought, like, oh, they're just gonna, like, take off the molar bands, or they're gonna take off the brackets. I was like, wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. How are they gonna keep the teeth from going back to their normal spot? So, I went to the appointment, and, by half, they meant my bottom braces. So, they took off my bottom braces, and the appointment was pretty straightforward for the most part. If I remember correctly, they took off the bands. They took out the wires, and then they just pulled off the molar bands and the brackets. I was expecting the molar bands to be the biggest, like, pain factor, but it was actually quick. It was just like that, I like 1 second they've got like pliers in my mouth, and the next they're holding the molar band in the pliers, and I'm just like, that quick, that easy, that painless, and I was like, in my head, I was like, this isn't gonna be so bad. So if you're planning, if you're gonna get your braces off, and you're worried about it, it's not that bad. It's really not. The molar bands, they just come right off. The brackets, not painful. They get another pair of pliers, and they like kind of snip it from your tooth. I guess I don't really know how to describe it without it sounding painful, but yeah. And then they took me to another room, like a more private room, and they polished off my teeth to get rid of all the cement that was still left from the brackets, because they hold brackets on with like a tooth cement, not like an actual like pavement cement. That's a bit much, but obviously. But yeah, the polishing was probably the most uncomfortable part. Um, they had me hold a suction with like a cone under my chin, and it would like suck air in, so like it would pick up all the dust that would fly off from my teeth. Um, and then like they would stick this water pick in my mouth, and if you don't know what a water pick is, it's basically like a small little a thing. Like, it kind of looks like a toothbrush, but like an electric toothbrush, but instead of a brush, it's like a little nozzle, and then it sprays water out of it. You'll see what I mean when you look it up or something. I don't know. It's meant to clean your teeth. Like, it's meant to act like a floss, I guess, especially for braces. But I never really used it when I had braces. I never really flossed. I used like a small green brush. I don't remember what it's called. It's just floss brush. I'm gonna call it a floss brush. Like, basically you put it in between the wires, and it cleans the in-betweens of your teeth. And that seemed to work fine, because I didn't have any cavities. I didn't have anything. I was completely fine. So anyway, back on topic. They used the water pick, and they picked off all the cement. It smelled like something was burning the whole time. Like, it felt like, like something was smoking in the building. I suppose because it was an enclosed room, and like I don't know, maybe it was the smell of the dust or something, but it smelled like something was burning. It was pretty uncomfortable. And of course, everyone knows the saying not to bite into ice cream. Oh my god. Getting water picked on your front four bottom teeth is so uncomfortable. It's indescribable. It's not painful. It's not at all painful. It's just so unbearably uncomfortable. You just feel like you want to close your mouth, Like, you want this sensation to stop. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like something like ticklish going on the inside of your teeth, like your enamel. It's so weird. I hate describing it like that, but that's what it felt like. Worst part of the appointment, definitely. When that was done, and I felt absolutely terrible, I had to go over to a sink and, spit, clean my mouth, and, yeah, and then there was blood again, as I expected. I don't think as much as the Herbst appointment, but there was still quite a bit. I was like, oh, yep, there's the blood. Yeah, and I got to brush my teeth and stuff like that, and like, when I first rolled my tongue over my bottom teeth, I was like, this is so weird. I was like, I was not. I was so used to having brackets on my bottom teeth. It was so weird to have them gone. And when I close my mouth too, because on your like inner bottom lip, you can feel the brackets against them. And without it there, it's it's a sensation that I cannot describe. Like, I was just bubbled with joy. Like, these are finally gone. Sure, it wasn't the top ones as well, but I was getting to that. I knew it. Um, so I go back to the other room where I had the molar bands taken out, and um, I think first they took a mold of my bottom teeth because for the bottom retainer, it's like a mold of your teeth, I guess. Like it completely goes over your bottom teeth. It's like transparent, and I don't really know what Invisalign is. I think it might be Invisalign. Um, it's like transparent, it goes right over your bottom teeth. You can hardly see it. Um, so yeah, they had to take a mold of my bottom teeth to make that. It was not as uncomfortable as I expected it because I knew the mold was going to be the worst part just from like remembering when I first got my braces in 2.5 years ago. And the bottom mold wasn't that bad. In fact, I kind of enjoyed it because it tasted like marshmallows, and of course, I missed that taste a lot. Um, but it was admittedly kind of like icky to have something that large inside of your mouth for like 30 seconds or so. But I didn't gag, I didn't feel sick. I was quite comfortable. When they took it out, I was like, thank God it's done. And then, nope, they had another one. They had to take a mold again. I don't know why, but I guess they wanted to make sure it was perfect, which I guess is understandable. So yeah, they took another mold, just as relaxed as before, maybe more, and they took it out. Then the actual orthodontist came out and said, "Hey, that gap in your teeth? Yeah, it's still there. We gotta close it up." And I was like, "What? What?" So my appointment had to be postponed for another 2 weeks, and they had to put this really tight wire around my two teeth. Like really tight. Um, they took off the front molar bands as well, and they shortened the wires. The top ones, I meant. And they shortened the wires so that, like, the back molars weren't involved in the braces. It was just the teeth, like the other teeth. Um, and they got the wire and they tied it in between the brackets, and they tightened it and they tightened it and they tightened it, and it felt like my teeth were gonna fly out of my head. And then they were like, "Okay, you're on your way." So I was like, "Oh boy, I've got to wait for another while before they take this off." So, yeah, I dealt with that, and I was getting used to the. I. A week later, I think, I went to go get the retainer, the bottom retainer, at a different office. I had to go in on my own because of COVID restrictions. And I got my bottom retainer. And, they told me, like, keep it in all day unless you're eating or unless you're brushing your teeth, typical stuff. Um, clean it every now and then with a toothbrush. Don't use toothpaste because it can, like, damage the retainer. Stuff like that. And then they gave me asked me what my favorite color was, and then they gave me a case to hold the retainer in. And I said pink, so I have a pink case, of course. um, and then, yeah, after 5 minutes of that, I was sent on my way, and I was like, this feels weird. But it was miles better than the braces. Miles. Because I could take it out. I could eat stuff normally with my bottom teeth. if, normal is like still having to watch your your top front braces, but it was a bit easier to eat. It was weird though, because it was so much easier, it felt weird. Um, so yeah, more time passes. The next appointment, I had to get my teeth adjusted. Actually, no, I think the tightening thing was this appointment. The last one was just like my full top braces. My bad. So yeah, they tightened me up, skip ahead. Another 2 weeks, and the next appointment to get my braces off again. Oh, right, that appointment, the last appointment, the one where they, tightened my teeth up, they took a mold of my top teeth. And it was the most uncomfortable thing. I I felt so sick. Like, it was so much worse than the bottom one. So much worse than the bottom mold. Like, at least the bottom mold didn't, like, invade the top of my mouth. Like, back to my uvula. But the top one just coats your entire upper mouth. Like, the plate, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Um, it like goes all the way back to your, like, where your tongue starts. It's so bad. That was the worst part of it all, I'd say. I almost threw up by the end. I started like gagging at the beginning. I tried relaxing. I kept moving my tongue around and I was like, nope, this thing's still in your mouth. You gotta start gagging. So my mind was like, this is a threat. Vomit. Get rid of it. Luckily, I didn't vomit. I managed to keep it together, but I still did gag. I coughed up a bit when they took it out, but I don't mean to make this really gross and uncomfortable for you if you're planning to get your braces off, but it really sucked. Look out for that part, I'd say. Yeah, but then they got that mold. They only had to do one. I thought they had to do a second one because one of the workers started like stirring up the mold bowl. It was like, huh? And I was like, oh, they're gonna have to do another one. Luckily they didn't. I was really relieved when they sent me on my way. Then yeah, another 2 weeks pass, and now I have to get my braces off. So, it was pretty much the same routine as the first one. They took off the wires, they took off the brackets, they polished my teeth. Not nearly as uncomfortable because my top teeth aren't as sensitive as my bottom teeth. And then I realized that one of my very back top teeth didn't have a molar band on it because it was like too far in my gums, I guess. So I had to have a bracket there. And I realized, like, oh, there's still a bracket back here. So I told the orthodontist, like, hey, there's still a bracket back here. He got rid of that. He was like, oh, right, I forgot about that. So that was gone. And then I cleaned myself up at the sink again. I went back over, and then the orthodontist worker, whatever, presented me with my top retainer. And it was a lot different from the bottom one. It might be like, it's like the typical retainer you see, like the pink part at the top, the wire over the teeth, kind of bent around the teeth. It looked exactly like that. And I think they let me choose the color of the top. I chose pink again because, I can't help myself. But also, I didn't realize, like, oh, this might blend in with my upper mouth. So I was like, oh, perfect, no one will notice it. Then I realized, oh, there's a wire, right, of course people are going to notice it, but anyway. And then, yeah, they gave me that. Everything was explained to us, like how to take care of it, how long I'd have to have it, stuff like that. They said that in a year from now, I only have to wear it at night. I don't have to wear it during the day, which is a huge relief because I'll finally be able to eat like a normal person again then. Like, I'm sure I'll have to fall asleep with it in my mouth, and maybe like a few years in the future, I won't have to wear it at all. And that also reminds me, I had to get something for my top front teeth, the first two, because there was such a big gap in between them when I was first getting braces. They had to hold them together, so they glued a little teeny tiny wire behind them, to keep them together. So basically, I can't bite into like whole apples. I can't bite into corn, stuff like that. Which it's not very restrictive because not only do I not eat stuff like that very often, but like it's a whole lot less than it used to be. So yeah, I was sent on my way, and I'm gonna have another appointment in about 3 months to like for them to check to see how everything's doing. If everything's going according to plan. So hopefully in 2022, I will be relieved from daytime retainering, and I can go back to my normal life. So yeah, overall, 0 out of 10 would not recommend. I'm joking. Like I'm really glad that my teeth are straight now. They look a lot better. I'm still not really used to them. Like I still expect to feel brackets there every now and then, but it's a lot better than it was. It's a huge relief. And also like my jaw problems, when I had to get the herps, like that was going to be a future problem. Like it could have messed up my eating altogether. So 2.5 years of not very good eating versus like a lifetime of not very good eating. Like I'd happily take the 2.5 years. So yeah, no cavities. Luckily, I'll have a dental cleaning in 3 days, which is Thursday, as of the time I'm recording this audio. It could be less than that now. And it should be the easiest one I've had in a long time, which I'm really happy about. So yeah. And anyway, I found a piece of paper from when I first got my braces. It's called Before Braces and During Braces. So I'm going to read this off now. So I'm going to start with Before Braces. This is normal for me, but for some reason, even at my young age, I knew something wasn't quite right about my teeth. I could fit my tongue between my two front teeth. And as the dentist said, I have an overbite, which is when the top row of teeth does not align with the bottom, which means I need 2 braces for 1 year and 1 braces for 1 year. That doesn't make any sense. Making 2 years total, which isn't actually that bad. It also makes chewing different. I couldn't imagine eating with an overbite. It doesn't quite cross my mind for some reason. As I heard from my teeth dentist name, if I remember correctly, he was the one who said he had braces. Or maybe that was the lady. I forgot. Either way, they said braces were a breeze. I hope they are for me. Debatable. And then I signed 2018. Alright, now for during braces. Week 1. Well, I got used to them quickly, and I can only chew very soft foods right now. Though soon I might be able to chew PB toast, which is peanut butter toast. Week 3, wowee, it's gotten significantly easier to chew, all because of the herps that I wasn't able to, ... oh well. And then that's where it ends. Because I didn't record the rest, which I probably should have, but I didn't. So yeah, that's the story of my braces experience. Trust me, if you have braces, it's worth it in the long run. I know it might be difficult now, but trust me, it's worth it in the long run. Keep going. You've got this, Just keep trying to keep your teeth clean, I know, like, they're just tiny bones in your mouth, like, who cares? But, it's pretty important. Like, if you have bad teeth, it can pretty badly affect the rest of your body. I'm not really sure how it does, but, I've heard it does, so take your dentist's word for it. Keep up with your brushing. And I'm not trying to be some dentist advertisement, but really take the advice. It's good that you do. So yeah, thanks for watching this what's it called? Like when there are two movies. I don't know. I'm gonna call this a sequel. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I shall see you when I hopefully am not talking about my teeth for a change. Yeah.